that feel like a bit of a bait and switch? Doesn't it feel like they kind of like he ran on this idea of exemptions and exclusions, and instead you're getting deductions and phase outs?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And this is so typical of what comes out of Congress. Candidates for office, whether we're talking about the president or any senatorial office or any congressional office, they say, we're going to do this and I'm going to do that. And you elect me and I'll do this. There's such a thing as bill scoring. All right. The Congressional Budget Office scores every bill with respect to revenue as to what it's going to collect in income, if it's a tax collection bill, as to what it's going to cost in terms of benefits, if it's a giveaway program of some kind, and then also if it's a deduction or credit or exemption or exclusion. The Congressional Budget Office scores the so-called cost to that bill in terms of tax reduction, reduced revenue that the government will collect if that is enacted. So what happens in the real world is these bills start to get scored. Congressional Budget Office says, well, it's going to cost us $150 million to exclude tip income. That's light, and I'm just throwing that number out as an example. Right. It's probably more like $500 or $600 million that it would cost if we exclude tip income. And so now is when legislators start negotiating as to what they're willing to give up. So this is why you end up, big beautiful bill that passed the House, deduction for tip income and overtime pay is only limited for tax years 2025 through 2028, right? So this is not a permanent thing at all. And then, as I said, it starts phase out at $160,000. So people with that level of income aren't going to get the benefit at all, right? And so this is what happens when they start scoring these bills and senators or congressmen are unwilling to give up the money, right? We can't lose this revenue because if they're going to ever have any hope balancing the budget, which of course I've given up on any hope of that whatsoever, but if there's going to be any hope ever of balancing the budget, they need to consider if we're going to lose this much revenue over here, we have to cut so much spending over there in order to balance this up. Well, Josh, they're unwilling to cut the spending.
Once they get their grubby mitts on every single dollar they can, they won't let go of it.
They just will not give it up. There's no question about that. There's hard historical evidence for that. Personal income tax as we know it today, personal income tax that was created under the 16th Amendment was ratified in 1913.